So let's take it one step further just to show you guys another thing you can do inside the piping. This time we're going to look at map, where we take some data and convert it into something else. So here's the case. Let's say that I actually, in my delete product, I want to actually return the product I just deleted for some reason. So I need the observable to actually, when it's done, it needs to contain in the next statement, I want the actual product I just deleted. But I want the product from Firebase that I just deleted, right? So what I want to do is actually, I want right now, the problem is if you mouse over right here, it says I'm going to return a void. I'm not going to return any data because, well, we proved that in the last couple of lessons. Delete doesn't return any data at all. It's just undefined. So how do you want to return a product? How? Well, the cool thing is that just like I piped up here on our first observable, I can actually pipe again down here on our second observable, because the from is still just an observable when it's done converting the promise. So that means that I can right here say .pipe again, right? So now I have a second pipe down here, and what I need this pipe to do is take the observable we have right here that returns that right now just returns void. I need to explain to that it should map that void right here into an actual product. So how does it do that? Well, we map the data that we are getting from the first observable call right here, which is nothing, it's just an empty product, right? We map that data and we say, instead of returning that, I want you to return the product document that we are getting from the first request up here, dot the data from that one as product. So I'm going to convert it into product, right? So now what I've done is, and I know again this is so hard to read the first time you use observables, but again, just notice how I can pipe my data and convert it to whatever I want. What I've done right here is pretty much just saying, if this succeeds now, I'm actually going to return the product I found in the beginning of the method. When I start deleting this guy, I'm actually going to end up returning that actual product that I got from Firebase, right? So I delete the product, but I keep it in memory right here so I can actually return it inside this next call for that observable. What does that mean? Well, that means that if I just go back to the component list, now if it succeeds, I can actually get the product right here. So this will actually return product from Firebase right here. And I can now use that ID to actually present that it was now deleted. Now I know this is overkill, complete overkill in this scenario right here, but it helps you get an understanding about all the things you can do with observables before you actually subscribe to them. Notice again, from the component point of view, I haven't made any changes to the actual service call right here, but a lot of things are going on now behind the scenes inside the service where the logic should reside. Let's see how this works now. I'll save this and let's just try and jump into the front end and delete this guy. I hit the debugger for the tab. We've seen that a lot of times, pretty much just making sure that that document exists. Then I hit the debugger down here. This is the subscribe, pretty much just getting the actual Firebase item right here from the observable inside the component, right? So now it seems that we got to the successful event that just returned the component. Let's just continue once more, and now you'll see I get the item was deleted, right? You'll notice one more thing, and that is actually I did not have the ID for this item, so that was still a mistake, right? Right here it converted the data, but the document ID wasn't anywhere to be found. So let's try and see if we can make that even smarter by doing something like this. We'll just make a constant right here, which will be the data. There we go. And then we will take that data and say .id, because I need the ID as well. And then maybe the product document has an ID on it. That's my guess at least. There we go. And then we'll return that data right here. There we go. So that should actually now add the ID as well when we kind of get this data back. Let's try and see if this helped us. Do another delete. Get a reply back at some point. Let's see if the data is there with an ID. There we go. We have the full object that was just deleted, and we can see it right here. Okay, so this is not the only way to do it. It's not the perfect way to do it, because this would mean that we're getting 2 requests to Firebase every time we want to delete something, and that's not required for deleting something. If we don't get an error back, we must expect that Firebase removed that document we just tried to delete, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. This should work out of the box. But I just wanted to show you guys how far you can actually go with this, just piping and tabbing and switch mapping and mapping and going crazy with the data. Now, if we want to make sure that we only want to do this once, we don't want to keep listening, we can actually add one more thing, and that is first right here. So that pretty much just means, I shouldn't have that, I just need to do it like this. There we go. So that pretty much means I only want to do this once, and then I want to disconnect if there's any connection up and running. So that's just another term you can put in there if you want to. So this is, if there should be any open lines, it'll automatically shut it down. In our case, there wouldn't be, but still, you can add the first term as well. So that's first, tap, switch map, and map. And I think that'll be the most important 4 things you'll use for now. So see you in the next lesson. Have fun.